This one is for all the girls who never got the love talk, the sex talk, the birth control talk, the condom talk from their parents or their single parent. And all you ever really got was, don't be out there having sex. Don't bring no babies in here. We were doomed from the start.
Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Tyra here with another struggle review, here to discuss Just Another Girl on the I.R.T. Now this movie is from 1993 and it stars Ariyan A. Johnson. Now before I get into just why this movie will forever be relevant and exactly why we love it so much, I need you guys to drop down and subscribe to my channel and like this video. I'm going to give you guys a moment to do that, and then we're going to come back and discuss all things. Y'all really went up for this movie, didn't you? The plan was to give y'all my nothing to lose throwback right now, but all the fanfare for Just Another Girl on the I.R.T, we had to do this now. We got to talk now. We got to talk teen pregnancy now.
Go back.
Now that you guys have hopefully subscribed to see more of me, let's get into this video. But before we jump into the video, I have to give a shout out to the person who paid for and requested this review. If you happen to get your hope in life from this review, it's not because of me, it's because of this person right here. Thank you so much for supporting my content. You are appreciated. In the words of Ronnie, I'm not getting no money for this either. So anything that y'all could contribute to the channel, to me, is tea, it's appreciated. Thank you guys so much. Now, with the majority of the cast being mostly unknown, of course I felt like we should focus on the director. The director, the writer, and the producer, Miss Leslie Harris. Now, clearly this had to be a passion project for her. This was clearly her brainchild, her baby, and clearly had a message that she really wanted to get out there and be pushed into the forefront. Now, from this movie here, she really didn't go on to do much else in film. I do believe that this was her first and only movie. She did a few things behind the scenes, but nothing to the caliber of her putting her thoughts, her words, and her vision to screen again. And that's really unfortunate because this movie is remembered. Now, this movie isn't just remembered for being some deep coming of age movie. It falls into that category for most of us, just being one of those movies you wish you had the ability to see when you were younger. One of those movies you wish you were aware of. Teens facing teen problems that teens deal with every single day. I hold this movie up there, you know, with movies like Kids from 1995, 15 and Pregnant, No One Will Tell, Speak, you know, when Lifetime was the shit. Or movies like Native Son, or even other movies like Life Support and 1 Week that gives us a glimpse into living with HIV. Like, people need to see these things. They show us so many goddamn films in school and stuff that they feel like we should be prone to know, you know, artists and art and civil rights. Like, no, these are things that we need to know. Not every household has someone prone to give them all this information and give them a real outlook on real deep consequences for certain actions, especially things like teen goddamn pregnancy and not knowing what to do. Now, speaking of not knowing what to do, with this movie coming out around that 1992-93 time, this was a big time for teens ages, you know, from 12 to 16, discarding their babies in the most obscene ways, whether, you know, they did really horrific things to get rid of their babies, discarded them in the garbage. This was a time that this was happening a lot, whether, you know, it was some unwarranted pregnancy from this tragic situation, you know, things that certain girls go through, or just like here in this film, you maybe, you know, got into a situation with your boyfriend. Bottom line, they didn't know what to do. They didn't know what options they had other than to throw their babies away. And it's really crazy that even now, with all the knowledge that's brought into what you can do with your baby, all the options that you have, even the options that, you know, our character Chantel has in the movie, a lot of young girls still opt to get rid of their babies. And we're gonna discuss why. Now, getting into the movie, we begin to follow Chantel Mitchell, aka Miss Aisha from the Steve Harvey Show. When I first watched this, I watched it because I recognized her, not realizing I was about to watch something that was gonna stick with me forever. But we get into Chantel letting us know that she is a regular schmegular girl from Brooklyn. She is fly, she is level-headed, she's 16 years old, she has a job at the supermarket, she dresses to the T in her nice ass gear. Not only is she loud and a little obnoxious, but she has charisma. She has a nice personality. She's popular, she's a great student, and she has no doubt that she will fulfill her plans to become a medical student and go to college. And most of all, can't nobody tell her Nathan. Like, she is completely opinionated, a know-it-all. Nobody can tell her that her plan isn't going to go according to plan. She was very much giving, I want a girl with extensions in the hair, bare boom earrings, at least 2 pair. She is in every way an around the way girl, but in her eyes, she's smarter than the average around the way girl. She knows better. Now we get right into how Chantel feels about teen pregnancy. We have a friend of hers who's, you know, had a baby. She has problems at home. She's missing school. She's not the same. She looks tough. She looks tired. Like, you see right away that Chantel can care less, because in the back of her mind, that could never be me. You know, there's always that misconception when you're not the girl until you are. We always see in that same scenario dealing with those same situations, because even though we have her friend, her bestie, like, oh my God, I wonder if she gonna come back to school. Like, I don't care, I'm going to the party and I'm gonna have this stupid dope fresh ass kid. Like, if you ever wanted a movie to encapsulate all of the 90s, this is the movie all the way. Daddy's Little Girls. Like, the soundtrack, the dopest fly gear, the atmosphere is very, very early fucking 90s. She has, of course, been made to mature faster than, you know, your average girl who doesn't necessarily have to. Even though she's from a 2-parent household, both of her parents work all the time. They're, you know, this close to the poverty line, living paycheck to paycheck, at which they can't be there to keep an eye on Chantel or raise the other 2 boys that they have, making Chantel an instant goddamn mother. Now, I will be the first to say that I do not think that this topic is spoken on enough. This literally prepares you for motherhood way before you are supposed to be. You don't have time to frolic and just enjoy your life as a teenager. Though you are doing what you have to do for your family and you're making sure everything is good, it subtracts so much from your childhood that you just can't frolic and be as a teen, and you are made to be instant mother caregiver to some younger siblings. This totally prepares you for motherhood prior than you ever would want to be. It's like, you know what? Well, I mean, you know, what's a baby really? I'm mature anyway. I'm playing second mother anyway. I've been a mother. Like, I don't want to stay home with them kids. Daughter gotta have a life too. Now, even though we do have both of these parents working, we also see what not to do in their relationship. It's really toxic. They constantly argue. They look really, really unhappy within their marriage or their relationship, mostly on the father's part, telling Chantel, you know, what to do, who to be with, where to go, what kind of boy she should and shouldn't be around. He's trying to redirect her and save her and, hold her back from, oh, those boys, they're going to do this, they're going to do that. And of course, they probably are, but we are going about it the wrong way. Not only are we combative and negative and, hitting, being really aggressive towards Chantel, but we're having the same action towards the mother and saying shit like, oh, you're going to end up just like your mother. Very, very toxic. And we have this mirroring and going over and over in Chantel's head, and all she can focus on this entire movie is, I'm not going to end up like my parents. That is not going to be me. And when we say that shit, that be us. That be us. We be them. We become that. And then, of course, with the parents' dynamic, we add on that very thin layer of resentment. You want to tell me where I can and can't go, and that me going to these certain areas may, have me be pushed into some mature situations that I might not be ready for with some boys. But I'm not mature enough to do that, but I'm mature enough to take care of the boys and make sure they're okay. I'm already a mother, I'm already mature. I should be mature enough to make my own decisions. Are they smart decisions? Now we also get into Chantel's school life. Don't we have a moral obligation as Black people? Chantel is very, very down for the cause, very, very pro-Black. This is not your history class. That's not my history. I know my history, and it's not in this book. Why are we going all the way over here talking about apartheid and all this other good stuff in other countries? We struggling right here in the Bronx. You see that she has, a lot of knowledge. She's really, really focused. So much focus that she wants to graduate during her junior year and have that head start in college. She is light years ahead of everybody else surrounding her, and she really takes a whole lot of pride in being that student, being that it girl, being that one who knows a little bit more. I can talk shit, I can do this, and I got it all up here, and I got on the flyest fucking gear. It's nothing nobody can tell me. But that's also where she fails. Not only is she brilliant, but she has the worst little funky fucking ass attitude. She is very combative, she is very, very rude, uses all this profanity, and she respects zero authority, because in her mind she knows everything. But that's what happened when you become a mother before you're supposed to. Let them kids out. If you got somebody at your house, your oldest, watching your children, let them out. Let them go. Let them go. Now, with Chantel being, closed in at home and not getting what she needs, especially from her father, of course she goes and gets affections from a neighborhood boy. Not only is it affection, but she's 16. You want to experience and be with boys. Now, this first relationship, or whatever you want to call it, between Chantel and a young man in her building who wants to be her boyfriend so bad. Oh, he wants to be her man. I'm trying to be your man. He wants to be her boyfriend so bad. And I found some really significant moments within their relationship that I never noticed before watching. Not only, you only ever took me to the basement. I got tokens. What he got it? I got tokens. Now we do have this boy saying, the same things that this other boy begins to say. Chantel, I love you. Those infamous words that young 16, 17-year-old boys love to say. Oh, I love you. But unlike the guy that she chooses, this young man, even though they were in the basement, when he was trying to, Chantel, I'm hard, girl, I'm hard, I could bust through a brick wall. He had protection and persisted on using, you can put your Jimmy away, and she thinks it's so funny, but it was really, really smart at that moment that he pulled that out and was conscious enough to feel like they needed to use protection. But Chantel did not recognize that. Why not? Because she is all about the material things and what someone can offer her. Not only am I not trying to be tied down, I'm not trying to be nobody's girl. I'm fly. I got the flyest gear. I can come and go as I please. She, gets off on having her freedom and kind of she's free. She's a city girl, okay? I don't have time for that. I don't want to be tied down to anyone. But we see later on when she makes her choice as far as who she wanted to be with, it was really funny that she never even thought to go with the guy who was very adamant about using protection. Then we get into that scene of listening to her friends. Now, me myself, I'm all too familiar of not getting those talks from your mother, from your family about love and sex and protection and protecting yourself. Not only, yourself, not only your cookies, but your feelings, your heart, your body, your mind, your spirit, your soul. No. When we don't have those talks, we tend to get what we think we should know from our friends. And we have her friends having these talks and having them say some shit that you can probably still hear today from 1992, 93. Oh, well, I don't want to use protection. Boys don't like using protection. Like, I don't like the way it feels. They don't like the way it feels. Like, I don't want no rubbers in the way. I want to feel some real dick. Like, ma'am. And I don't have to worry about any HIV or any AIDS, because everybody knows only gay people get that, and people who use drugs. People will still have that same dry ass mentality right now. Stupid. You get what you think is the right outlooks from your best friend. Girl, we're not using no protection, right? I'm just gonna double up and take like 5, birth control pills back to back. And yes, girl, yes, we finna get some real dick. Like, no. All the while you have the sensible friend like, no, you should do this, do this. Girl, you dumb. You don't even know what you're talking about. Like, no, I'm gonna take these pills, right? And you have friends that tell you dumb shit like, after sex, right, you hang upside down, do 2 cartwheels, 1 backflip, rub your stomach twice, throw back a shot of Pepsi, some bleach, and some alcohol. No pregnancy. People was really out here listening to that kind of dumb shit. Not me, other people. Then we get into Chantel's life changing forever, all because that one moment. Thus far, we have been going to work, maintaining our GPA, managed to be the best of the best friend, have our flyest gear, and do what we need to do at home. Then we go to a party and meet a nigga named Tyrone. Like, I don't know, Tyrone just gets a bad rap. Like, soon as I'm getting tired of your shit. You don't never buy me none. It gets real. Like, yeah, Erica said Tyrone ain't no good. Get the fuck out of here, Tyrone. But we get into her being at a party, and she thrives in that environment. Like, she loves being the center of attention. Not only am I smooth, charismatic, and smart, but I can dance. I got on my fly ass bustier, and I also have this dude running around here. Just because you brought me to this party don't mean you own me. Now, getting into the other guy that she chose not to be with, rewatching it now, because I remember watching it back then, I was like, oh, he is being a little possessive, he is being a little extra. But it was more so really like a protection thing. Looking at it again, not only like, I don't want you to talk to anybody else, he really, Roxanne, I want to be your man. He really wanted to be her man. But it's more so, a protection thing also. He felt like he was looking out for her. He had her back. How long have I known you? I love you. It felt like he really had genuine feelings for her and just didn't know how to, the energy that she was giving off. Get away from me. Why are you here? Don't follow me. I want to dance with who I want to dance with. Like, back the fuck off. But no, what happens? We meet Tyrone. Immediately, as soon as we meet Tyrone, he lets us know who he is. Tyrone is very, very touchy. He's a little aggressive. He's pulling her down, sitting on his lap, giving all the opposite energy that the other guy gave. For the most part, the other young man was respectful. It seemed like he really cared for her. But Tyrone let it know right away, like, I'm trying to get it in. Like, you all talk or what? Like, you real fly in this party. We can be fly in the bedroom. What's good? Chantel completely ignores all of this. Not only is Ty, he fly, She lives in the projects. Tyrone lives in a brownstone. He has a single mother who works. He can go off and do whatever he wants to do, call his own shots. He's not trying to take her to Mickey D's. He's taking her on real dates. And most of all, the thing that put the cherry on top that made her just ignore everybody for Tyrone, he had a Jeep. Cars ride by with the booming system. He had the flyest, the dopest Jeep. That was the notch that put him over. Because, this guy over here who was respectful, respected my boundaries, and offered to use protection during sex. He got bus tokens. But this one right here, all up on me, all up in my face, trying to get some of my punani. He got a Jeep. He said I reminded him of his Jeep. He has a Jeep. I'ma go with him. Now, of course, on the surface, Tyrone is everything this young, smart young lady thinks she wants. Not only is he carefree and, has a plan for his life just like her, but, he has all this freedom. He has all this space. He takes me to a restaurant. He's not confined to his parents. He has fucking cable television. And he likes me. He picks me up from school in his fly-ass Jeep. Like, she is just totally smitten with the idea of who Tyrone is. But unlike the other young man who asked her for sex politely, girl, I'm hard. Like, oh, damn. I ain't getting none. Let me put this Jimmy back on in here. No, Tyrone is completely the opposite. Are you all talk or are you a fucking tease? Like, what's the good? You giving it up or what? Because if you not, then you can hit the door. And it's just like, no, I do want to do it, but I just started the pill. I may need a little bit of time. And what does Tyrone say when she says this? Come on, y'all. We all heard it. Some of y'all said it. We're good. I'm gonna pull out. Pull out like you pull out of the parking garage. I'm gonna pull the fuck out. Oh, God. I can concur that at least one time in a man's life, you said you were going to pull out, and a female at least once has fell for the I'm gonna pull out method. And of course, Chantel goes for this method, and we know all too goddamn well that the pull-out method is not foolproof, and half the time does not work. Don't pull out. Pull it back in and put your Jimmy on. You gonna pull out. Pull out of what? Pull out and spray? Because that's what he did. And then she got pregnant. Now, at the point that Chantel gets pregnant, we really get into the meat and potatoes of the movie of her, getting pregnant and later making the choice that she decided to make. We get into the morning sickness and, all of those signs that we are pregnant. And even though, everything is in her face, she goes out of her way to ignore it. And it's just like you as a viewer and as a person, it's like, why are you doing this? Why is she ignoring it? Why is she trying so hard to make this any other thing in her mind but pregnant? Because if we admit it to someone, if we, acknowledge that there's a baby, it makes this all too real. It's like admitting, failure, admitting, that you're stupid, admitting that you didn't know any better, that you are just as vulnerable out here as the other girls. You aren't as smart as you thought you were. It's admitting defeat. It just feels degrading at the end of the day that you succumb to this particular situation. If I admit that, it makes it all too real. So we go on the whole dog and pony show of her reading books, putting them in her face. Those damn pregnancy tests took me out. You ever, have that pregnancy scare, or you're about to have a baby and you take all those tests just like, oh God, is that blue? Is that a tint? That's not even like blue. That's like turquoise. Like, is that that's really not a line. That's a faint line. Like, you look for every single excuse in the book, because if it's, I just can't. I took 5 tests, but I might need a 6th test. No, via a doctor, there is confirmation that she is pregnant. And of course, her mind goes to where any teenager with an unplanned pregnancy's mind would go. I want an abortion. I need an abortion. Let's just get rid of it. Now, even though financially at that moment she can't get an abortion, I really do like that here we had a counselor really helping her with her options and letting her know what she could do, letting her know about welfare. Even though she goes down to the welfare office and sees, her worst nightmare comes true, you see a struggling, single, bitter, loud, cursing, get your ass over here, ass mother. And then I can't even get welfare. I don't even qualify for any financial assistance because I live in a 2-parent household with 2 incomes. In the projects, woo, we ballin'. But even outside of that, Chantel is flat out pretending that nothing is wrong. And there's a sense of insecurity, this embarrassment, this shame, especially when she thought she was different. Chantel completely thought she was better. Now, even though Chantel makes statements like, oh, I wasn't pregnant. You thought I was dumb enough to get pregnant? Who? Not me. She's not only hiding it from her parents, hiding it from her best friend, but she just can't take it anymore and decides to tell her boyfriend. Her boyfriend Tyrone, who said, Chantel, let's just get it on, baby. I love you. After he had met her like a week or two ago at a party. She tells him that she is pregnant with his baby, and he says that infamous statement that must be in the fucking Constitution. How I know that's my baby? Who told y'all to say that? Who told y'all to say that? There have been too many times in life where that statement has, who passed it down from generation to generation for men to feel like they're prone to question, how do I know if that's my baby? Then, we get even prone in even more stabs. If you trying to pull this shit so I can marry you, bitch, you can think again. Excuse me. Toxic, straight up toxic, little low down, dirty, scandalous ass dog. And Chantel is in shock. Like, how could you? Fuck you. How could you say that to me? How could you do that to me? Oh, this is not what she set out for. This is not her life plan. But you know why? Do you know why we're here? Because he had a Jeep. There's something about your love that's got me going. Baby, you know I want you. Remind me of my Jeep. I want to ride. He had a Jeep. We are here because he had a Jeep. At that point, we get into Chantel really going out of her way to still hold up her reputation as the resourceful, fly, smart girl in the school. I'm still, helping my friends with their work. I'm still, studying. I'm still taking control of the classroom. I am still that girl. If I give off the illusion that I'm anything but that, and anyone finds out I'm pregnant, I am considered a disappointment. I am a statistic like everybody else that I know. I am not that. I am not my mother. That same shit that she heard from her own father. But, on that road of ignoring the situation and, her slowly secluding herself and being alone and, starting to wear looser clothing, we have Tyrone come back around, once he calms down and does the right thing, the right thing in his mind, This is not my first rodeo. I've had several unplanned pregnancies and, got them taken care of. I can give you some money from my uncle and girl, we can get this squared away. Stop here. Now, most would say, why didn't she just get rid of the baby? She already thoroughly said that she wanted an abortion. At the end, she does, what she does with the baby. She's hiding the pregnancy. Why not get the abortion? First of all, it's still that level of acknowledgement. You still have her. You told your uncle, you told this person. Don't tell anyone. I don't want anyone to know that this happened to me. I am not this girl. We don't want to acknowledge it. And then there's, that second hand of who are you to tell me what to do with my body? Even though I might not want the baby, you don't get to tell me what to do with my body. She becomes, really, really resentful at that moment because you aren't supporting me as the person who helped me get into this situation. We did this together and you're acting like it's all my fault, acting like I'm trying to trap you, acting like I'm the main problem. But you have no problem shoving $500 my way to get rid of the baby. But he had a Jeep. He had a Jeep, girl. But he had a Jeep. Now we have Chantel completely hiding this pregnancy from everyone, and it's shrinking her more and more. Not only, are you tired, you're trying to maintain appearances, you're, putting on this girdle to keep your stomach at bay, you're isolating yourself from everybody down to your best friend just so no one notices. There is this weight, this stress hanging on her shoulders. But we got Tyrone in the wind, like, girl, here, I got this $500. You take this money and get the abortion. You can live to fight another day, girl. This is nothing. People get abortions all the time. Just go do it and be done. Here you go. All the while, we have the best friend. What did I do? What's going on? You don't talk to me no more. She is noticing the change in their friendship. And since Chantel is noticing it too, and this is also a moment of me not holding up my reputation. I'm that girl. I'm that smart girl. I'm that best friend. I'm weakening. I need to do something. Let me take this $500 that old boy gave me for an abortion and go. I'm gonna pop some tags. Only got $20 in my Chantel takes the $500 for a Seth abortion and goes to the mall and fucks up some commas. She goes and pops tags in the mall, all footloose and fancy free. We getting hair and nails and feet done, clothes, dookie rope chains, leather jackets. She is living it up. All the while, she is in denial. Like, this is who I am. This is who I love to be. I love to frolic, love to shop, love to be that best friend that I've been this entire time. This baby isn't going to affect anything. It's not affecting me. It's not here. It's not real. It's not happening. And I know it's not happening because I'm in the mall fucking up some commas with my friend with Tyrone's money. You in danger, girl. You are in danger. You fucked up some commas with Tyrone's money. Tyrone was very aggressive here, like, girl. Now, in the meantime, with her not knowing what she wants to do, thinking that she has all the time in the world, anybody who has had children knows that that time of pregnancy goes by faster than anything. So anything she thought she had time to do and make decisions and make choices, it is done. So by the time Tyrone rolls up on that ass and goes, you spent my $500 on shopping? It's like, yeah, it was probably too late at this point now for me to get in. Like, Tyrone really wanted to abort the mission. Like, girl, I can get you another $500. Yeah, right now it's too late. It's like, damn, like, oh. Tyrone is fed up and he is completely done with her at this point. And of course, time is going by. We're past spring and fall, and now we're in winter. Of course, we have these big coats. We've been wearing bigger jeans. We have completely concealed our pregnancy from every single one and have isolated everyone down to our best friend. She is completely alone, leaving her to go back to the one person who knows about her pregnancy, her boyfriend Tyrone. And even though it's against his better judgment and he is upset, he accepts her up until she removes that girdle, and it's like, well, god fucking damn. She is just about 30 weeks and she is huge, and no one knows about it because she's been concealing it this entire time. At which, once again, we get into us not having those dynamic talk with our parents, so we don't know what to expect. We have her, just feeling like, oh, is it okay for us to have sex during the pregnancy? Like, yeah, it's cool, we're good, it's healthy. Everybody knows if you want to get a baby out a little bit quicker, just sprinkle a little sex on there and walk a couple of miles. Baby comes right out. They have sex and the baby comes out, and she goes into full-blown delivery. Even at that moment of having the baby, she is still in denial. I don't want anybody to know about this. This is my shame. I'm embarrassed. Don't call a doctor. Don't call my mother. Don't call an ambulance. Don't call anybody. You do something. You do something right now. The whole scene with her having the baby is shot really, really well. And if you didn't know any better, it just looks really realistic. This entire movie is so grounded in reality, the way it's shot, the minimal money, resources that they had. This looks and feels like your everyday girl and boyfriend, in the 90s, but it feels really real. So when those contractions are hitting and all of this, and they just don't know what to do, she doesn't know what to do. But I do know that I don't want anybody to know about this. But she does still have that number from that counselor that she calls to help and assist her. And of course, she calls the goddamn ambulance against her better judgment. Say, yeah, we ain't gonna be able to make it for about an hour. Y'all, where y'all in the Bronx? Yeah, we ain't coming. Leaving those two to go through that whole pregnancy alone by themselves, at which that baby finally comes out after all the moans and groans and strains and all of that good stuff, all that good afterbirth. Oh my God, what the fuck is that? It's another one. Like, we just don't know. We don't know no better. But when the baby comes out, she goes into panic mode. It's like, I still have a life outside this. I don't want to look at it. Now that it's out, looking at the baby makes it real. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. I still have a life. I still can go to college. I still don't have to end up like my parents. Just get it out of here and get it out of my face. I don't want to see it. And all of this is, coming out of fear and coming out of judgment from what other people think, or expectations that she set for herself and for her life. She just feels like if she even looks at the baby, it's a failure. I don't want to see it. So every thought of even the abortion and adoption, giving the baby to any safe space, like it's just not in her head. She is in panic mode. We get into Tyrone. Even Tyrone is like, don't you just want to look at the baby? It's a girl. You don't want to look at the baby. We can't just throw a baby outside. Just like, no, get it away, get it out of here. I just can't look at it. I'm not in my right mind. Tyrone goes to throw the baby away and actually does put the baby in a bag and sits it outside on the curb. Oh Lord, like, as a mom, I just could never. I can't even understand how anyone could go through that. You form a certain bond when your baby is in the womb, so just to throw it away, it's just like dispose of it like it's trash. It's really disheartening for anybody to really feel like that's the best and only decision that they have for themselves at that moment. We have the counselor show up and she's trying to get it to the hospital. Like, yeah. So girl, where's the baby? It's like, yeah, I had to get rid of it. Like, you can completely tell that she is completely out of it, and she's speaking of it as if it's normal behavior. I just had him get rid of it and take it out. It's okay though. I'm okay. We're okay. It's like, no, you can't do that. But once they go back, they realize that Tyrone actually had heart enough and sense enough to go back and get that baby, and says, I just couldn't leave her there. I just couldn't do it. Oh gosh. It was very nice to have that moment, because a lot of moments don't end like that. Still up until this day, you find babies and have people set in scenarios, finding young infant children. A lot of people didn't go back. A lot of people sat in their decision and disposed of a baby like it was nothing. There are too many options out there, too many people who wish they could get pregnant and just can't, to just throw a baby away. This is a life. Don't do that shit. But you have everything for her in the end come full circle. Even though her and Tyrone isn't together and she has been mad tough, she ends up in community college. She's still persevering, going towards her goals, and they still even manage to co-parent for the little girl. And it's just a message to say that this is not the end. This is not the end of your story, of your life. You still have choices outside of this. You can make smarter decisions of what to do with your baby, as far as adoptions and many other things. Or you can vouch to keep your baby and do the best that you can and persevere anyway. This is not the end. Dealing with teen pregnancy is not the end of your life. You don't have to throw a baby away. Well, you guys, that was my review for Just Another Girl on the I.R.T. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This was a really great throwback to go back to. It's going to always be relevant. It's a very, very important story. I'm going to show it to my kids soon. It's a really good tool to give a visual outlook for, what to expect if you get yourself in certain situations. It, brings up really good commentary. It's open grounds to have a real talk about what sex is, what the consequences could be and what decisions teen girls or just period should make for themselves if they find themselves in this same situation. Please drop down and tell me, guys, what you thought about my review. Please drop down and leave requests. You guys, you know my Cash App is there if you guys want to request another film. Get that conversation going. I want to know what you guys thought about the girl on the I.R.T. I see you guys next time for my next video. Bye.